welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. During the 30-minute special that I ran before you hear the roar, we talked about some of those conditions that are really ripe for tornado activity in the Omaha, Council Bluffs area, in fact, for eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. One of those conditions is we look for a low-pressure system either to our west or to our north. Well, 10 years ago, that was beginning to get organized. May 5th, 1975, a storm system was beginning to develop over eastern Colorado. To the west of that storm system, some cool air was beginning to filter south out of Canada, and as you would expect with this kind of a situation, warm, rather moist air coming at us from the Gulf of Mexico was beginning to surge to the north and northwest, and those conditions were slowly beginning to give some indications that severe weather would be on the way. Well, here's what's going to happen then. One day later, that storm system moves up into western Nebraska. That cold front gets very close to eastern Nebraska. Warm front located just south of the Omaha area. Out west, lots of snow was occurring from Montana through portions of central Colorado, especially at the higher elevations. In fact, Denver, Colorado had 12 inches of snow just before our storm occurred. To the east of the storm front, a continuation of very warm, moist air coming at us from the Gulf of Mexico, and the satellite photograph really tells the story, because to our west, no cloud cover. We had what's called a dry line to the west of us, lots of rain, lots of thunderstorms building right along the Missouri River, and as we zoom into that area, you can see that area of very strong thunderstorms beginning to get organized. Now, way back then, 10 years ago, you may have seen former weathercaster Carol Scott and Jeff Jordan talking about the situation.
It's been kind of a hectic afternoon. I think the worst of it is over. According to a report that Carol just got this very moment on the telephone, the all clear has been... Or am I wrong on that?
No, we don't have an all clear bulletin as yet. We are still in the Omaha area, still under a tornado watch.
Carol Scott, thank you for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
Joining us. Listen, I have to tell you, looking at that video from 10 years ago, what was going through your mind knowing that this storm was really tearing up the community?
It was just probably one of the most terrifying days I've had in my entire life. Back then, of course, we didn't have the sophisticated electronics that you have now, so it kind of sort of just hit down. We were depending on the wire service, the laser packs, and of course all the reporters out on the street. And basically, it was just sitting and waiting for the reporters to call in and tell us what was going on out there.
Carol, so frequently now, I've been here, this is my 5th spring, and we get so many calls during severe weather. One person is seeing a funnel cloud here, there's a touchdown over here, and we have to assimilate all of that stuff, and most of it turns out that it's not accurate.
Right.
Did you get a similar situation back then?
Oh, we used to have a lot of people that would call in, and, you know, tornado, people get real hysterical when you say the word tornado. And of course there would be false calls, and we'd have to check it out with the National Weather Service and so forth. But what can you say about the big one? It hit 4:29, I think, in the afternoon, 132nd in Q, and barreled northward. Didn't take the typical northeastward route, went straight north.
What were your first indications that, in fact, a major tornado was destroying a part of Omaha?
I think probably the first reports came in when Wentworth Apartments was leveled, and it took all of the water out of the entire Olympic-sized swimming pool. And when we knew that devastation had occurred, we knew that this was a major one. It was a real strange one because there was a main mother tornado with funnels, 2 funnels that came down, dropped down, went back up, came down through the entire route of the thing. And the combination of the 3 leveled like 2,000 blocks in Omaha, left about $500 million in debts. It was a bad one.
Truly incredible. In fact, tornado researchers today still claim that that particular storm is one of the most severe to ever hit an American city. And you were a weathercaster for that event. How do you feel about that?
I still shudder when I look back and think about that day. It was really a terrifying day. You know, 200 or 300 people got hurt seriously. 3 people died in that thing. I think the thing that affects me the most, that I will never ever forget, is the fact that that thing went straight down 72nd Street and bypassed Exarban. And the races were going on, and there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people sitting there in that open stadium. And I never forget that feeling when we knew that it was going down 72nd Street and the Sarbin races were on.
It's incredible to think of what would have happened had that storm been just a few blocks farther east.
I know it.
Yeah,
I know
it is truly unbelievable.
You talk about devastation.
Mm-hmm. How do you react now to tornado watches and warnings?
Well, I think I have probably a little bit clearer of an understanding of what's going on than, say, just somebody out there. I probably don't get as panicky as a lot of people do, but then I truly have a lot of respect for severe weather, and at the same time, even though I don't get panicky, I respect what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I mainly just, do the same things everybody else does, turn on the TV, turn on the radio, listen to all the information, and hide.
Yes, hide.